everyone. Hello everyone, it's Paige Ashtree and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing another story time, partly because I want to, great reason why, but partly because I put up on my community page a couple of weeks ago now what kind of videos you want to see more of, and you guys said realistic roleplay and story times, and I just put out a realistic roleplay, 2 actually, recently, and I'm going to try and put out another one soon. I actually have to buy a horse for it though, so that will be coming soon, but I'm currently writing the script for it, so yeah, it's coming soon. But yeah, anyway, I'm doing a story time today, as you probably saw in the title. It is kind of a school camp, not a horror story, but like, yeah, it's kind of bad, I guess. Maybe I should not have chosen this spot to like do the intro because people keep running through me, but it's okay. It's okay. But I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna go to the trailer and I'm going to probably do fishing. Well, Farrah's quest, yeah, I'll do some fishing. Anyway, let's start. So this was a school camp that I went on. I'm not saying which one, but at the school, this was the first camp, not ever, but like, they had camps in like each year level, starting from a certain year level. And if you went on all of those camps, the first camp, the one we're talking about, would be the first one that would be done in tents. Like, you would sleep in tents. And I was like a little bit nervous for this one. Like, I was a little bit nervous for this. But I wasn't really nervous because I thought it would be mostly fun, but I was a little bit nervous because like I had literally never been camping before this, so I was like quite apprehensive. But I decided to embrace it and everything. And so if you can hear that, that is my door creaking open. Questionable. Okay. Anyway, so like I was kind of apprehensive about this camp, but like I decided to like embrace it and everything and just, you know, kind of like give everything my best shot. So we went on it, and the first thing that kind of went wrong was the camp, like the group that was like running the camp, like the association, was meant to send our hiking packs to the school and then we packed them at school. Instead, what happened was they said, oh, actually we can't like bring them over to school. So what you're going to have to get your students to do is you're going to have to tell them the night before the camp to find a really, really large bag somewhere, and then basically just run off to like all these stores to try and find a really large bag so that they can take that on the bus. And then when they get there, they can like pack it into the hiking pack. So like the whole year level was like scrambling to find like a huge bag that wouldn't like rip open, to find their like to fit all their clothes and sleeping bag and like everything like that in. So I eventually found one, which was good. So it was all good. Like we were going to like go to the camp and everything. It would like all great. So we set off to the camp, and here's the thing my school did. It was they would never tell us like the camp groups, like what groups you'd be in for the camp. Sorry, like until you got on the bus, and then like halfway through the bus trip they'd tell you. Now I knew that the activity groups were going to be the groups you did the activities in were going to be our homeroom groups, because it was kind of like the idea was like a bonding camp. So I knew that, and I had friends in my homeroom group, so I knew that would be good. But what we didn't know was the tents. Like, who would we be sleeping with? Oh, okay, that was bad. Who we would be sleeping with. So I was like, that was probably the thing I was most nervous about. So we found out on the bus who we were with, and I realized I was with my 2 best friends in the tents. That was really good, and like, yeah, I was really happy about that because they were my 2 best friends, so that was good. I don't even know what I'm saying now. I have to stop thinking about the fishing. Anyway, so we got to the camp. It was a pretty long drive, and when we got there, we basically just kind of like set up the tents and then made dinner, which honestly took a while because we had to like start the fire and everything, but it was good. And okay, let me explain something. So I probably should have written notes down for this, but it's fine. Oh, okay. But so basically, there was 2 campsites that we would be staying at, because the camp was 2 nights, and there was 2 campsites that we would be staying at. So one of the nights was we were staying at like a bush camp, and that was like really out in the bush, like nothing around. And then there was another camp that was kind of like, there was like a toilet and a shower block and like things like that, so it was less out in the bush way. So half the year level stayed at the bush camp for the first night, and half the year level stayed at the regular camp for the first night. And my group was staying at the regular camp the first night, so that was kind of like we didn't know what to expect from bush camp basically. But so the thing was, to get to the bush camp, you would be dropped off at a point by the bus, and then you would bike or hike to the actual camp. And then from, what am I doing? Where am I going? Okay. And then to get back to the regular camp, you would either hike or bike, the opposite of what you did to get there. So anyway, on the first day when we got there to the regular camp, my group was staying at the regular camp the first night. We just like set up our tent and everything like that. And we made dinner, as I said. And then the next day, what we did was we went rafting, and we basically just were driven to a point by a bus, and then we basically rafted back down the river to the camp, and that was really fun. Now after that, like once we got changed out of our wet bathers and everything like that, we had to get to the bush camp to stay that night. So my group was hiking to the bush camp, and this is where some things start to go wrong. So our camp leader was like fairly new. She was like she had done her training, but like only like a month ago. So like she knew the area and everything, and she knew the way, but like wasn't like really experienced, if you get what I mean. So wait, hang on, where's the ferry? Oh, whoopsie, other one. So what happened was she thought the hike was only like, I think she said 6 kilometers. I think she said it was only going to be 6 kilometers, like great. And I was thinking, like, that's not too bad, because I'm a cross-country runner, right? And my best run is a 3K run. So I'm like, oh, if I can run 3K, I can, like, pretty easily walk 6K, right? But then, we realized that it was actually a 10K hike with heavy packs on. Yeah, that was where it just got a little bit... So, what happened next was we were just hiking, and we were all trying to keep up the morale. We were like sharing snacks and everything, and like we were just kind of like trying to boost each other. Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice ever that made little lines. Okay, cool. Anyway, we were like sharing snacks and boosting each other's morale, like talking to each other, just like saying like, you know what, you can do it, keep going, and everything like that. So what happened, that was like good. We were kind of walking, and we were like, you know what, we can do this. And then there's this point where we get to stop out to kind of like take our packs off, have a break and everything. And then we're all like, how much further to go? And then our camp leader's like, oh yeah, like another long way. And it's like, we haven't even done half of it yet. So basically, like, we were still trying to be positive, but like, yeah, And at this point, 2 girls were like, they couldn't carry their packs anymore. They just like felt like they couldn't do it, which was fine, like, because they still completed the walk, but just they did half of it with and half without the packs. And someone like picked their packs up and took them to the camp. My gosh, I can't think of words today. So then we all kept walking, and we walked like, oh my gosh, it felt like so far. Anyway, oh, okay, dangerous fall. Great. Anyway, so that was like less than ideal, because we were like, oh, like how much further to go, and you know, all that kind of thing. And then we got to this point where our camp leader is like, okay, so like we can go along the bike trail, but it's gonna be longer than if we cut through this like forest thing. And okay, when we say forest, it was not a forest. I'm just gonna let you know that. Oh, what am I doing? It was not a forest. It was like a forest of like dead trees. All the trees had no leaves and everything, and it was summer, and it was just really kind of a strange thing. Like, it was hard to explain if you weren't there, like what that forest thing looked like. But for the purpose of this, just imagine us walking through this forest thing with our heads bent, full of like dead kind of browny colored trees. Yeah. So that is the scene. And so we vote, you know what, if it's quicker, we're gonna go through the forest. And so we start going through the forest, and then there's several points where we're like, you know what, maybe we should just turn back. This is taking too long. Maybe we should just go along the bike trail. Yes, it will be longer, but like, we know it leads to the camp. But then each time we say that, someone sees like a defined path that looks like someone's like treaded it before, right? So of course we're like, oh no, let's keep going. So we keep going and going and going and going and going. And so after we kept going and going and going for a very long time, the camp leaders eventually like guys, like, should we keep going, like find a way out of here? And but okay, by this point we had been in there for like an hour, right? And or should we turn back? And finally this time we kind of learned our lesson, and everyone votes, like every single person votes, yes, we should turn back and take the bike trail, because it is so much, it might not be quicker, but we know the way, like, so that we'll go that way. So we walk for like another hour to get out of that foresty thingy, like that dead tree, yeah, that thing. And we're just like walking out of it, and like we're guys like, you know what guys, like we're gonna get there, and we're gonna have dinner, and like then tomorrow we're going home, like it's all gonna be great, right? And so we get out of that thing, and we are all absolutely exhausted from like carrying the packs, and oh my gosh, it was just, our shoulders were in agony and everything, and it was just kind of like, yeah. And we were like still trying to boost the morale, but it was really hard, and yeah. So we eventually got to this like point at the top of a hill once we were out of the forest, and I swear we were in that foresty thing for like 2 hours in total. Oh my gosh. And so we got to this like point at the top of a hill, and our group leader like calls the camp, like the campsite, to let them know that we're okay and we're not dead and we are alive and well and we are coming, because we're like really late by now, and everyone's like kind of like, where are they? So we are stopping at that point, and we're just kind of like, we had our packs off, we're drinking water, having snacks, and then our camp leader tells us like, right guys, like I have talked to the people, and they say that they're going to come and pick up all of your packs and then you like grab anything you want out of it, like your snacks, your water, and we're gonna walk the rest of the way, but you won't have to walk with your packs. And we're like, yes, like this is amazing. And then the person comes, and of course they don't pick us up, they just pick our packs up. So like, yeah, that was really boosting to us that they just drove by, picked up our packs, and went on their way. So that was kind of disappointing, but we kept walking on and on and on, and we just like kept walking for what felt like forever on the bike trail. And then we eventually got to a point, and we're really tired, but our camp leader says, right guys, our campsite is just down the bottom of this hill. Now, I tell you, this hill was not like a little hill. This hill, we walked down this hill for 10 minutes at like a steady pace. A steady pace, like a regular pace, 10 minutes we were walking down this hill. And also the steps were like really big steps, like probably, I'd probably say like probably over half a meter down, like each step. So I don't think I could have done those steps with my pack on, to be honest, but we were just like, you know, walking down this hill and walking down it for 10 minutes, and finally we reach the bottom of the hill, and we're like, oh my gosh, we can hear people talking, like, we're at camp, this is amazing, we are at camp, and like, we actually made it, right? This is amazing, we made it. So we walk, so there is actually up to A to E campsites, and you can probably guess where this is heading, but we walked through campsite A, and they were like, oh my gosh, like, you guys are alive, wow, like, this is amazing. So then we walk through campsite A, and then we stop at campsite B because they have decided to share their snacks with us, which is very kind. They say like, come on guys, sit down, we're going to share our food with you, like come sit down, you like rest, right? So we all sat down and we had some food, and mind you, this group had also walked there, like also had hiked there, and we're going to bike back, but the other three groups that were staying the night at the bush camp, the second night bush camp, had biked there. So we were talking to the other group who had hiked there, and they were like, oh, like, you should have just kept going on the forest trail, like, it would have only taken you like another 10 minutes and you would have been out and like basically at camp. And we were like, oh my god, like, are you serious? Like, the one time where we say, you know what, let's just turn back, we're nearly there. So we're kind of like a bit mad about that, like, oh, but it's fine. And we're just like, we decide like, you know what, it's fine, we're just gonna stay here for a little bit longer, and then we get to walk to our campsite. And like, when I say that, you know, you're thinking probably like, oh, campsite A, B, C, D, they're probably like really close to each other. No, they're not. Not at all. I would say, well, I don't know how many kilometers, but from campsite B to campsite E, probably took us another 20-minute walk. Yeah, it was really long. And so I think like we're nearly at camp, we're gonna set up our tents and everything, like, great, we're nearly there. But no, we're not nearly there. We are not nearly there at all. We have to walk another 20 minutes, and then we finally get there to campsite E for Echidna. We get to campsite Echidna, our campsite. This is like amazing. We're at our campsite, like, we're nearly there, we're gonna have dinner, we're gonna set up the tents, it's gonna be great. So we get there, and then we have to get our packs from like a point just outside there, And then we're there, and then we have to set up the tents and cook dinner, and of course the water takes an age to boil and everything. But like, it's not that bad, and we're finally there, and we're all celebrating, and like, I don't know, like, it's just kind of a really nice atmosphere that we're finally there. We made it through that. What was meant to be a 2-hour hike turned into like a 3 or 4 hour hike. So that was really fun. And then the next day, we went to sleep in our tents, and then the next day, we woke up. Okay, medical compress, lip balm, incense. Okay. And so the next day we woke up and we had to pack everything up, have breakfast, and bike back to the original campsite. Oopsie. Medical compress, and bike back to the original regular campsite to take the bus back home. So the biking is actually really good. It was honestly quite fun actually. We all had our own bike, and we were just kind of going through there, and it was kind of not sentimental, but like, we were like, oh, we walked this just yesterday, but it was so much quicker than the walk was, because like, I don't know, like, it was just so much quicker than walk was, because like, we were on bikes. So that was like kind of really nice. Big Bonnie and aching guitar. Okay. And like, then we finally got to the regular campsite. We had lunch, and then we went home. And going home was like, oh my gosh, that was like the best thing ever. Like, after all that struggle and everything, we were like finally on the way home, and as it always does, the trip back seemed so much quicker than the trip there. And we were just like, and then we got back, and like, then we got back to school and saw our parents, and then went home, and it was just such an amazing feeling not hiking. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, we were not hiking. And then like, I forget when, like the Monday after that, I did running training at school in the morning, and I remember feeling like I was so light and free because I didn't have a pack on my back, and I felt like I ran better because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so easy now. It's just my weight. I don't have the weight of another body on my back. Like, that was how it felt. I'm just gonna actually stop here and do, that was a good slidey stop, do the outro, and then after I finish filming, I will go to see Big Bonnie. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this kind of strange story of one of my school camps that kind of just went wrong in a lot of ways. Training Darcy now, as you see, isn't he so cute? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are still here, you can comment. School camp, because school camp. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.